In this session, we're looking at a way of expanding the range of our A minor pentatonic scale. And of course, we're already familiar with the pentatonic shape at the 5th fret. That's where our first finger is pointing to the key note. So our first step is to extend the range below where we normally would play. And I'm doing this by creating a little rectangle shape, and I'm playing the following notes. I'm using my first finger at the 3rd fret on string 6, then my 3rd finger at the 5th fret on string 6, and this is where the root note of the scale is. My next note I'm playing is the 5th string at the 3rd fret using my first finger, then the 5th string at the 5th fret using my 3rd finger, and there's my first rectangle. Now, continuing along the 5th string, I'm going to use the 3rd finger once again. I'm going to play the note at the 7th fret on the 5th string. So I have my rectangle, and I use the same finger to play the note at the 7th fret, string 5. Now the next step is to discover a rectangle that already exists in our standard A minor pentatonic shape. And here's how we find this rectangle. It's on the 4th string at the 5th fret using my first finger, then the 7th fret on the 4th string using my 3rd finger. That once again is our tonic note. Then on to the 3rd string at the 5th fret using my first finger, and then finishing our rectangle by using my 3rd finger at the 7th fret on the 3rd string. Here's my next rectangle. So the pattern I have already is one rectangle, then using the same finger again, 7th fret, the next rectangle, and now I'm going to extend my range up beyond where we normally would play. I'm going to use my 3rd finger at the 9th fret on the 3rd string. So here's the pattern we have so far. One rectangle, then moving up to the 7th fret with my 3rd finger, next rectangle, moving up to the 9th fret, again using my 3rd finger. Now, because of the way the guitar is tuned, I'm going to have to tuck my first finger, just move it up 1 fret so it lands on the 2nd string at the 8th fret. It's my first finger on the 2nd string at the 8th fret. And here's my next rectangle. First finger, 2nd string, 8th fret. 3rd finger, again the 3rd finger is covering the key note, and it's at the 10th fret on the 2nd string. 1st string, 8th fret using my first finger, and finishing our rectangle by playing the 10th fret with my 3rd finger on the 1st string. There's my 3rd rectangle. Here's what I have so far. One rectangle, connecting note, next rectangle, connecting note, tuck our first finger in, so it's moving up 1 fret before we start our next rectangle, 3rd rectangle, and again I'm going to move up 2 frets to the 12th fret on the 1st string using the 3rd finger again. Here's the pattern we have so far. First rectangle, connecting note. Next rectangle, connecting note. 3rd rectangle, connecting note. Now to complete our scale pattern, because it's a pentatonic scale, I'm going to use the fact that there's 5 notes in the pentatonic scale to help me remember where the next notes are, because the final 2 notes are going to be played on the first string. So I'm going to use the fact that it's a 5-note scale to remember that the next note is 3 frets up and the final note is 2 frets up. And that gives us our 5 notes. 3 frets plus 2 will equal 5. So here is the whole pattern. Rectangle 1, connecting note. Rectangle 2, connecting note. Rectangle 3, connecting note. Add 3 and 2 to bring us back home. And of course, if your guitar will allow you to do this, you can see that now I'm positioned at exactly the same spot as I began, only an octave higher. So I can play the pentatonic scale, our standard shape, and of course I can use the extended shape again. So I'll play the entire shape: rectangle, connecting note, rectangle, connecting note, rectangle, connecting note, plus 3, plus 2, and here's my pentatonic shape, and here's my extended pentatonic shape. And you can play as many notes as your guitar will allow. You'll notice I'm using different fingers as we're getting up high, because the frets are very close together and it's hard to access all the frets. We're using my standard fingering.